What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including an AEW wrestler in serious hot water with AEW and Impact, and whether this will create a rift in the promotion's current collaboration. Triple H was upset at a huge blunder, the WWE's hottest latest signings, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now let's hit the intro and get straight into the first story. Our first story looks at Sammy Guevara in hot water with AEW and Impact. Now there's major news concerning former Inner Circle member Sammy Guevara, who was reportedly set to appear on Impact Wrestling only to be sent home. There are also questions being asked about whether the situation will affect the current partnership between AEW and Impact. But let's start with Guevara's situation first and what led to the rumored heat. Slam Wrestling's Bob Kapoor reported on what took place with Guevara, a wrestler who until recently was prominently featured in AEW. Fans tuning into the 10th February Dynamite saw Sammy Guevara quit the Inner Circle, apparently leaving AEW. He noted, according to a source with knowledge of the situation, AEW star Sammy Guevara has landed in hot water with AEW over an Impact angle. AEW owner Tony Khan is not pleased with Guevara after he voiced complaints about a planned storyline which would have brought Guevara into the ongoing interpromotional angle with Impact Wrestling. Chris Jericho is said to have discussed the possibility of Sammy working in Impact, and according to Kapoor, Jericho pitched the idea to Khan, who contacted Impact about writing Guevara into the angle at the last minute. Impact's first take on things was rejected, but a second idea was given the green light by Khan. Tony Khan reportedly has veto power over any storylines involving AEW wrestlers in Impact, which begs the question what the original story was. Things appear to have gone south when Guevara complained about the storyline, leading to further complications. Impact in turn contacted Khan and Jericho with this news. Jericho reached out to Impact Executive Vice President Don Callis about banning Guevara from Impact's premises. Guevara was reportedly told by Jericho to go home. Like most wrestling stories, there are conflicting accounts of what exactly happened. Meltzer discussed the situation on the Wrestling Observer Radio, saying, "Impact had television this week and he was supposed to be on them, and he went and he didn't like the creative, I guess. I heard from one person at Impact, I don't know what the creative is that he turned down, but they said that the creative he turned down was something he should turn down. So he didn't like it and they decided to do it with Black Taurus instead, and they did not use Sammy." There are questions about the extent of heat on Guevara. As Meltzer stated, there is no heat or anything like that as far as that part. I think that part has kind of been blown out of proportion. Nonetheless, Dave Meltzer thinks there could be heat from Impact Wrestling. On the other hand, Wrestling News' Paul Davis reports this situation has not affected the AEW Impact partnership, but it remains to be seen what will happen with AEW and Guevara. As talented as Guevara is, he had considerable heat in 2020 after remarks from his past concerning Sasha Banks led to his suspension and subsequent counseling. He's also been blasted by some wrestlers and fans for throwing a chair at Matt Hardy that resulted in Hardy's head being busted open. We'll continue following the story as it develops. Next up, Triple H was upset with a, hilarious blunder. Wrestling fans know that tables are made to be broken, and that's exactly what happened at last night's TakeOver Vengeance Day during the triple threat match between NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai, Toni Storm, and Mercedes Martinez. Pretty cool, right? Well, not in this case, as the table collapsed on its own while Toni Storm was clearing it to perform a big spot. You've heard of spontaneous combustion? Well, let's just say this spontaneous breakdown wasn't well received by Triple H, who talked about it during the post-conference call. In that moment, there's nothing for me than just hating the fact there's nothing you can do about it, but you feel terrible. You want to be able to give them everything that you can, and you want them to succeed, and you know what it's like when that stuff happens. You hate it for them, but it is what it is, and there are pros, so you move on. Now, there is a silver lining to this cloud, though at least it happened on NXT rather than the main roster. Of course, knowing the internet wrestling community, this one has likely already been turned into memes and GIFs. Next up, why WWE took so long to turn Roman heel. Roman Reigns' tribal chief character has been well received by the WWE Universe, with his 2020 heel turn leading fans to ask why it took so long to happen. Despite Vince McMahon pushing Roman Reigns strong as a babyface, fans weren't buying it and they turned on Reigns to the point where the universe wondered why the WWE wouldn't turn him back into a heel. Otherwise, there were doubts whether Reigns' career was salvageable. According to former WWE writer Brian Gewirtz, there was a big reason why Vince McMahon took so long to pull the trigger on Reigns' heel turn. Speaking on the Masked Man show, Gewirtz explained,
When it came to Roman, the model was John, right? Because there were plenty of times where the writers would come in and be like, can we just turn John heel with the, let's go Cena, Cena sucks. Like, can we do it? Can we pull the trigger? And it was something like Vince never wanted to do.
And thankfully, Vince finally relented, allowing Reigns to play a heel again, much as he did when he debuted with the Shield and quickly winning over fans. Ironically, Vince McMahon at one point considered turning John Cena heel, but stood his ground, with rumour having it that it's a decision McMahon was glad he made, as Cena's role as the face that runs a place stood the test of time, despite some backlash from the fans. Next up, multiple WWE signings. It looks like the WWE is taking advantage of its record profits and giving employees raises. Oh, wait, that's incorrect, as we recently reported on how WWE employees are furious that the company has advised them no raises, bonuses, or promotions are in store for the near future. On the other hand, Vince McMahon has opened up the WWE coffers to sign a ton of talent. Dave Meltzer discussed this, saying, so they got Blake Christian signed, Taya Valkyrie, Harlem Bravado, and they have 24 people signed. They're on a signing spree. Fans who tuned into Sunday's NXT TakeOver saw former Impact champion Eli Drake's return to the WWE, as he worked in enhancement talent from 2013 to 2014 while training in NXT. Drake is now working as LA Knight and signed a contract with William Regal during the show. By the way, LA Knight? Really? Is there anybody who likes that name? Well, Meltzer provided details on Blake Christian's signing, saying, Blake Christian is 23, he's a guy everyone wanted him, everybody was interested in him, and WWE got him. He absolutely has a lot of promise, he's the kind of guy that should be going with a sense of they need young talent. Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens provided information for fans wondering when the WWE will disclose just who they've signed. The belief is the next set of recruits will be reporting to the WWE Performance Center next Tuesday, thus a full list of names they've signed with the company will be announced at the time. The WWE shopping spree suggests the company is hopeful that by the time the new talent makes their way to NXT, that current NXT superstars will be ready to jump the main roster. But looking at the main roster, particularly the men's division, it reveals that there are an incredible number of wrestlers working in their late 30s and their 40s. It needs some young talent. And finally, why Adam why? Well, NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day ended with a post-match attack on NXT champion Finn Balor, but if you didn't catch the show, Balor managed to repel Dunn's title challenge only for Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch to attack Balor, with Dunn soon joining the fray. The Undisputed Era's Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong ran in for the save, but in a shocking swerve, Adam Cole super-kicked Balor. O'Reilly ate a super kick after he tried to get to the bottom of things, leaving fans to wonder why Adam why, as the Undisputed Era have been a fixture of NXT, but it looks like the WWE is ready to split Cole from the group and putting an end to the faction. What did you guys think of this decision last night? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.